Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be in this wonderful world of ours, whether you're alohaing in Hawaii this morning or enjoying an afternoon in Philadelphia, maybe New Haven, or you're enjoying the start of your evening in Europe. I see you, Andy from Sheffield. Or maybe you're staying up late, a night owl somewhere in Korea or Japan, or even down in New Zealand, as a few of our viewers are from. Welcome in to the Hawk Report number 2. Yes, had a lot of fun making up the image for this episode. We'll talk about the image a little bit later once I introduce my guests, but first, just a few things to get out of the way. Thank you guys for joining in. Thank you for the new follows. Great stream by DishNet on the official channel today. And yeah, we've got a lot to talk about today. But first, before that, a few things to get out of the way. Some of you, if you're new to OOTP and you haven't really delved into the game yet, boy, do you have a lot to look forward to. And you can check out everything right on the OOTP development website. Everything is right there. You can go and you can download or go to the forum. On the forum there, all the questions that you might have that you want answered. Well, not all of them, but all the general kind of OOTP questions. You can post on the forum there. You can go to the Discord, sign up on the Discord. The best, bar none, the best simulation gaming community out there is the OOTP development Discord. So check that out. And you can even go and listen to OOTP on the go with OOTP Now, and Richard Grisham does a fantastic job. You can download the different podcasts that are available. Just go to the OOTP website. You'll find it right there at the bottom of the page. Last episode was March the 9th, so I'm guessing we're almost a month after the fact. So I'm guessing we'll see another episode in the very near future with Richard Grisham. And yeah, great to listen to when you're on a road trip or, driving home from work and stuck in traffic. The OOTP Now broadcast. Generally, they run about an hour. Also, you can purchase the game right on the website. You can go to the link there and purchase OOTP on desktop, on Mac, PC, even on Steam. You can purchase it there. Yes, I'm Canadian, so I have the Canadian prices up here. Don't look and go, whoa, the price went way up. No. For you Americans out there, it is still... let's go check that out, because the biggest audience is America. There we go. It is $39.99 on the website there. And in the near future, and I'm going to go out on a limb and say in the very, very, very near future, you'll be able to get the mobile version of OOTP, which is called OOTP Go 24. We've been waiting for it. We know it's coming out very, very soon. So check the website, check the Discord, check Twitter, all the sites that OOTP posts on, as I think we're a matter of hours, maybe a few days, but probably my guess is before the Hawk Report number 3 comes out next week, we might hear some news about OOTP Go 24. Great to play again on your tablet, on your phone, when you can't always sit beside the computer. So welcome in again, guys. I will be doing a giveaway at the end of the stream, as I always do, giving away 15 packs for you beautiful guys. I'm just looking at the chat here. Dishnet says, I think I missed signing up for the showdown. So there may not be the usual Friday night showdown, at least not with Dish and his mud crabs. I think that's his team participating in it. So I'm sure they'll keep us updated whether there'll be a showdown broadcast tomorrow night. If not, that's okay. We get lots of drops now from Richard Grisham, who's streaming, from Dish when he streams. So we get a lot of OOTP drops as it is. So if you can't make it on Friday, then we'll just say that Dish, we got. We'll talk about it later. I don't want to pull the joke right now, but Also, have you downloaded the newest version of OOTP? Yes, there has been an update, a patch. If you're on Steam, it should automatically update if you have that setting turned on. For the rest of you guys, yes, there is a new update. Version 24.3.52 is now available. That has a few bug fixes and player fixes. So that was announced today on the Discord. So you may need to go to the website if you have the Fast Spring copy, the desktop copy, and get that updated. All right, that all out of the way. AZ Axel in the chat saying if you're having issues with the Steam update, reinstall the game and it should finalize that patch. AZ, I have a Steam copy and I updated this morning. No problems. The game loaded up. We're good to go so far on the Steam version that I updated. So if you are having problem, there's a quick fix that you guys can do. Well, guys, it is, again, episode number 2 of the Hawk Report. And of course, the Hawk Report, Hound's analysis with kidneys. So that must mean there must be someone waiting to come on. So without further ado, here is the man that hopefully one day gets a Marvel Snap character that can reach level 420. Welcome into the chat. We have back with us YourKidnies. How you doing today?
I'm doing very well. Thank you for that. I don't think anyone's hit 420 in Marvel Snap. I know there was a guy around 370. If you know Marvel Snap, you'll know how crazy that is. Happy to be here. Happy to be back. Got some fun content today. Switch hitting, build a lineup. Quite interesting, I think. No, but didn't see anyone expect that. When Spora said he had a wrench and compared to last year, throwing a little wrench in the plans. That was quite fun. So,
all right. Well, before we get going, kidneys, I have to ask you, a question here before we get going. So, as an icebreaker, those of us that know us from our streams, know us from Discord, know that, we're from different eras, right? We're from, they call them generations. And not many people from the lost generation are around. That's from 1883 to 1900. And then we have the GI generation from 1901 to 27, the lucky few from 1928 to 1945, the baby boomers like Gorgo and a few others that are from 1946 to 64. And I'm part of Generation X. I think I've got the coolest name, Generation X. 1965 to 80. Then we got, those millennials, from 81 to 96. And then Kidneys is from that Generation Z or the Zoomers, just go, 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 born with a tablet, next to their diaper bin. They have Generation Z all over them. And then we've got the newest generation, the young kids today that are Generation Alpha. And Kidneys, we always think that our generation's the best. And, the ones before it, they're just old and they're archaic and they resist change and all that other stuff. But, even though Kidneys and I might be from different generations, we have some similarities, except for when I showed Kidneys this picture here today for our thumbnail. He goes, what's that? What does that represent? And I'm like, seriously? We might have 30 years between us, but you don't recognize the car? What? I mean, someone out there in chat, someone inform Kidneys where this is from. Look at that, Kidneys. We've got all these people here, just wealth of information. So I attribute that to the Zoomer generation. Yes, this is Starsky and Hutch. Yeah, Starsky and Hutch. So I asked, Kidneys, I said, do you have a white sweater that you can wear to represent Hutch? Because, yeah, he definitely is the Hutch character. And I didn't have a leather jacket, but I got as close as I could to represent, I forget the character that played Starsky. But, yeah, I thought that was a great thumbnail. And then Kidneys ruined it by going, what's that, lap? So there's a case of Zoomer and Gen X and the differences between us. But like I said, there's some similarities between the Zoomer generation and the Gen X generation. I grew up with Fidel Castro as the leader of Cuba during my teenage years. And guess what? Kidneys grew up with Fidel Castro as leader of Cuba. So we're not that much different. I grew up in my teenage years with Prime Minister Pierre Trudeau. And Kidney grew up in his generation with Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. So
I didn't know there was an heir to the Canadian monarchy in charge these days.
King Justin, we call him up here in Canada. Yes.
That's going to upset probably a lot of people.
The royal bloodline continues.
I guess so.
Yeah, so we're not much different. I grew up, watching a lot of the 70s shows. Like, who can never forget the 70s shows? MASH, Taxi, Archie Bunker's Place, like great 70s shows. But Kidneys is not much different. He grew up watching the 70s shows as well. So, in reality,
I don't know when that came out.
It probably came out, when you were just a young little tot.
Oh,
maybe.
yeah.
But
a little bit.
So we don't have, a lot of differences between us. So even though, Generation Z and Generation X may appear to be all that different, we're really not. We're really not. Except he's going to have to go and watch a Starsky and Hutch episode. But I have to ask you now, Kidneys, we're going to get a little personal here, Kidneys. Just a little personal. Okay. Kidneys. Just between you and me, parents, if you have any kids nearby, maybe cover up their ears. Kidneys. Were you able to complete Spore's boner? Were you able to complete that?
I have not. I'm actually just waiting.
You have not.
I'm not in a rush to do the live missions yet. I will say I did predict tonight's reliever correctly. I missed on all my other predictions, but I put down Gary Lucas for the left-handed reliever, and I did get it right tonight. So I think that's a very important thing. I did get one card right. So,
well, I'm kind of disappointed because I did watch your last stream back in 1942, and on that stream you mentioned that one day you woke up with a pleasant surprise. You woke up to the big PP package. So I thought if anyone could finish off Spore's boner, it would be you. That you would be the man to do that. But apparently missions aren't important for you. So I'm guessing that somewhere along the line you'll be able to do that. And again, I'm Generation Z, where boner has a much different connotation than maybe some of you young kids out there. Boner to us means mistake. And so, yeah, Paul Sporer, I mean, I'm just a news reporter here. I'm just going based on what OOTP has on their, site with the mission and with the points package that they offered. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know how often, I don't know Sporer that well. I know he's on Fangraph. I know he does some Twitch streaming. I don't know how often he has these boners, but this one was a small one, albeit because it was only one card, a San Francisco mission that had a San Diego player. But maybe with your big PP package somewhere down the line, you'll be able to finish that one and get that card, because it's probably an important card to get as part of your missions.
Yeah, I think using the big PP package to finish off Spore's boner is rather fitting. I think that would be a good use of my money. I'm waiting a little bit. There's still some of the Dodgers, the Padres. Some of those missions are really expensive. I'm not in a rush. I just bought the Johan. It was more efficient. So I'll get there when I get there. I'll certainly do it. They'll be worth it eventually. They always are, right?
Yeah. And then with Dish's mistake earlier, but Dish is not a Gen Xer, or, he's not from that generation that uses those words. So we'll just call it a Dish showdown mistake. We won't use inappropriate language here. Okay, you can take the earmuffs off the kids there. Like I said, I'm just reporting on what I see on OOTP and on the game.
we're gonna break TOS, like Twitch TOS, before we break Out of the Parks TOS. All this is just in the game. We're just reporting it as it is, how it happened.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
That's all.
Exactly. Exactly. As it is in the game. All right. Well, let's get on to a little bit of what we're here for today and the Perfect Team Beginner's Guide. Always like to start kidneys with a beginner's, something that a new player to the game can take away and go, okay, I learned something from kidneys today in lap, and I want to use that knowledge as I approach OOTP Perfect Team. So the question I have for you is, what do you consider the eye test? What is the eye test for you? When you look at a card, immediately, where are your eyes drawn to? What are you looking at to evaluate whether it's a playable card on your perfect team?
Right. So there's a lot going on right now that's going to make this card, which I don't think is it's not a terrible card, very interesting compared to what's happening that we're seeing in tournaments, right? Because league play doesn't matter. If you're playing league and you can train players, just train players. It doesn't matter right now. Nobody's going to perfect. It's going to be a few weeks, right? So first thing, this is a center fielder, right? This card really only plays center field in tournaments. Even though it says qualified to learn left and right field, you could play him there in a tournament. He will play like he has no training. It doesn't train up the players who are qualified to learn. Only the players that have some sort of experience at the position, right? So it would say left or right field on the card. 71 range is a little low for a center fielder. So I'm going to really focus on the bat of this card. And right now it's kind of like the little upside down from what I want. Tournaments right now are extremely punishing for these BABIP hitters. There's some debate whether it's bugged or a feature or what's going on right now. There's a lot of they're just being really suppressed, right? So normally how Out of the Park works in a lot of scenarios is BABIP stays like the same, right? Whatever the error is, the BABIP relates that. It doesn't actually matter what the ratings on the cards are. Out of the Park, how the engine works is it kind of meshes things together and levels them out to kind of be like an average point and be roughly similar to what that error represented. We're seeing BABIPs down in like the 220s and the 240s in certain tournaments. So I'm looking at this hitter, which is like a good contact hitter. It's not going to hit a lot of contact almost at all right now. It'll still hit more than other cards, but just compared to what it would do in like kind of the typical environment of previous perfect teams will be a lot less. So when I'm looking for a hitter right now, I'm looking at power and eye, right? There's a lot of people playing home run suppressing cards for pitchers. However, with BABIP just being so low, it makes getting on base and then hitting home runs a lot more valuable as a result, right? So you really want all these high eye, high power cards or cards with really good gloves, right? 71, again, is a little below what I would like for center field. I'm probably looking at least 80 range in a gold tournament, so.
Excellent. So there you go. When you're looking for, when you do that eye test on a batter, power, eye, obviously defense for a center field. And when we turn to our pitchers now and you look at a pitcher card, where are your eyes first drawn to? What are you evaluating in that first 30 seconds to see if it's playable?
Well, first off, I want to say Sloppy Thurston's a pretty decent card. I definitely used the big PP package to get Sloppy Thurston. He's a little low on the pitcher BABIP, which is like, there's kind of this dilemma right now. Obviously, the BABIP's been suppressed in the tournaments, but how much of that is the pitcher BABIP rating? How much of it is the defense? How much of it is just new engine stuff, right? So I know there's a lot of people who are playing cards that look like this. Really high control, really good at suppressing home runs, and they're just playing a really good defense and not caring as much about the pitcher BABIP. I think this is a very viable gold card for teams with good defenses. It's a very solid card here as a starter. I'm a big anti-home run guy. Home runs are really important in baseball. You can do I do a lot of WOBA rates and like what has value. Home runs have a lot of value. You can stop them from hitting home runs. It's really good. Right now, kind of with how the meta is playing out, the cards that are preventing the good hitters, which are the eye power hitters, from getting on and hitting home runs, look like this, right? So this would be a pretty good shape of a pitcher I'm looking for right now.
All right, so there you go. So this Thurston card playable on your perfect team. And again, looking at that home run, looking at that pitcher BABIP as two kind of early indications. What about when we look at, the hold runners, the velocity, the arm slot, those other things right underneath the 88? How much priority do you put into those?
There's some of them that matter, some of them do not, right? Like ground ball, fly ball tendency, it's not like super directly correlated with things. I know people probably debate me on that. At least from what I've found, it's like, do you play like a better infield outfield defense? Kind of. You can a little bit build. I don't put too much weight into it. Fly ball tendency does not mean they get more home runs hit off them, and ground ball doesn't mean they get less. That's a huge common misconception started with out of the park. Velocity is important if you're putting a starter in the pen. A lot of times with more velocity, when a starter moves to the bullpen, they do better. So there's even some cards this year that are listed as a relief pitcher that actually are a starting pitcher in the engine that will then do better as a reliever than what's suggested, right? The stamina is a little on the low side. Like 70 is playable, but you're going to want to be like a lower pitch count for that era. Finesse pitcher is for base game and coaching. The arm slot doesn't matter. A lot of times the arm slot, like if he's a side armor, he has a lot of splits. It's more of just how the game plays out. It's not something that actually matters when evaluating the card. Hold runners is pretty important, especially early in the cycle when people are not turning off their base dealing slider. Hold runners is great. People really missed out on that last year. It's a really important rating. It is not a meme rating. So,
Yeah. Well, I learned something, all the time listening to Kidneys, and I just love, picking his brain and finding out more and more about these cards as I continue. And I've become kind of a fan of that high home run, high pitcher BABIP for my cards as well. So let's go on and let's take a look back, because a lot can happen in OOTP in a week, Kidneys, with new cards coming out and new information. So let's look back at the week that was. Now that you've played another week in Perfect Team, that you've looked at the cards in a little bit more detail, let's each kind of pick a card and highlight something that we found out about it in the previous week. So for myself, it's a tournament card, but the Frank Baker card, I've used it when I've played the perfect drafts and I've done well with that card. Here's a case here where from one tournament, he hit 457 in 46 at bats. He doesn't look like he's great at everything, Kidneys, but it looks like he is good at a lot of things. And maybe that's why he's successful in the perfect draft tournaments. I've drafted him 3 or 4 times. Every time he has hit over 300 for me. Sometimes he's carried me to the final. What do you think about the Frank Baker card?
He's a good card. I think he's being slept on a little bit right now. One of the things with this card is, like I said, like, power and I are like everything right now to me, right? When I'm looking at a card, this card doesn't stand out, but it's really, really consistent up and down, just a solid overall card. I think if there's some changes to how pitcher BABIP is being suppressed right now, this is actually like 100% open gold, one of the best options you can play. There's probably like 1 or 2 names I would put above him just because the meta is so just 2 ratings right now, in my opinion. But he's good. I mean, he plays defense a little bit better than a lot of what people are actually playing at gold third base, which is like your Jim Tomei, your Jose Bautista, your Bill Joyce, because they're actually playing the gold Mike Schmidt at shortstop. It's what a lot of people are doing. I was kind of back and forth on it, and then I went back and looked at data. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to play gold Mike Schmidt at shortstop.
That Mike Schmidt card is definitely a card you want to use if it ever comes up in tournaments. All right, how about your card that you look back on over the last week and you're really impressed by?
Yeah, I'm really excited about Herb's Score. I think it's a card. When I first looked at it, I was like, I don't like this card. So my gut impression with like any sort of pitcher is just to look at the home run suppression. And this card is a lefty who's a little bit weak to righty home runs, and that's dangerous. But he's just super well statted, and I think he's one of the best cards probably in the entire game right now at suppressing hits because he has high stuff and high pitcher BABIP. And while he does have lower control, and you probably have to turn his pitch around, which is going to be in a little more home runs, I've seen pretty great things out of this card in data in a lot of tournaments I like so far. I don't know if I'd start him, but I think out of the pen, because he'll get even more stuff from being a starter move to the bullpen. This is certainly one of the best options in gold right now.
All right, so there you have it. You got the Thurston card, you got the Score card, you got the Frank Baker card, Mike Schmidt, of course. If you don't know about Mike Schmidt, definitely one of the more valuable cards, not just in gold, but in the entire game itself. And let's kind of transition now over into the new content, the card report, our kind of next segment here. And we've had a lot of limited editions come out, and Dish pointed out earlier on in his broadcast that currently we have 4 limited editions in the game. 2 of them are sold out, which makes sense because they're bronze cards, which are pulled at a higher rate. So they're going to pull 100 of those a lot quicker. The Feller really surprises me as a perfect, because we've seen the Ricky Henderson, we've seen the Albert Pujols last year at a diamond pull rate take a lot longer to finish off. So that's encouraging that more people are opening packs, that more people are, either buying packs or, playing in tournaments to get packs. And then yesterday, I believe it was the Jason Hayward out of 25 and 20 of those. So let's quickly go through those kidneys. Let's start with the bronze cards, the Eckersley and the Rhodes. And as a student of what you've been teaching us on your streams and on the Hawk Report, I look at this Eckersley and correct me if I'm wrong, teacher, but this is a bad card to play in, I guess, any situation, unless you really tweak the sliders and you want to go pitch around fairly high for Dennis Eckersley. But this looks like a card in bronze, considering all the bronze meta power eye guys, that's going to give up a lot of home runs. Give us your take on Eckersley.
Yeah, he's fun. This is certainly a very fun Dennis Eckersley card. I had an online league I played in for a few seasons where I had this player on the Red Sox, Dennis Eckersley. I think there's one scenario for me that this card would probably be pretty good at. It would have to be like a low ceiling dead ball tournament, right? Because in dead ball, so 1919 or prior, nobody hits home runs, right? So there's a few other bronze silver cards. We'll get to one later that came out today that are really, really good for these tournaments. I think there's only one dead ball in the game right now. And because it has such a high ceiling and high cap, probably not going to make the team. You don't need a ton of pitchers. You really only need 3 starters, and your bullpen doesn't really ever get used. So I don't think this is like a top dead ball card, but if there was like a silver dead ball tournament, maybe, probably not. It's around there, right? Certainly pitch around is not enough to save this card's home run rating, is what I would say, right?
Okay. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, definitely dead ball pitcher. Be fun to use that one as well. Okay. The next one, the Carl Rhodes, which was the first bronze one to come out, sold out right now. In bronze tournaments, I thought, well, again, he's kind of well-rounded. He's got some power. He's got some eye, but there's just better cards out there to use instead of Carl Rhodes. Like, a great card, but doesn't play for me in my bronze tournaments. What do you think about Rhodes?
Well, I think you hit the nail on the head, is that this card, I think, would probably have seen a little bit of play if it came out a week earlier. It's funny I say that because one of the cards we covered last week, the Topps Nelson Cruz, is kind of a better version of this card, right? It's a left fielder that hits lefties really well. If you say, like, well, what if I play Nelson Cruz in right field? I think there's some other things that are a little bit better too. The Rob Deere card is a card I'm really passionate about. I think that's an awesome card, VL. Even I missed this first looking at the cards before I put them into the model today, right at the start of the stream. The new bronze Ben Zobrist plays left field and is probably a little comparable to this card too. So, you certainly could play it VL in left, but I don't think it's the best option. I think if you can get that Nelson Cruz card, he's a pretty highly above the competition in bronze VL corner outfield right now.
All right, yeah, and you have the fear of missing out when cards come out and they get put on the card shop, and I did buy this one for, I think I put in a buy order of $4,999 on it, and it was filled. I did try to use it in my tournaments. He did okay, but like I said, there just simply seems to be better cards than him out there. But it's beautiful card art. I will gladly add it to my collection with the card art.
This year, the card art is great. And I will say, this is another one of those cards where it's probably very playable VL if the environment's a little different, right? Because it's losing like a lot of its strength is the BABIP and the gap power VL, and it's being so muted, right, in the current environment. So.
And yes, last night when I was watching Tranquil Farms and his broadcast earlier in the day yesterday, he was at a card shop looking through a lot of cards. And last night, lo and behold, Tranquil Farms pulled the number 93. So he was almost at the end of that availability for Dennis Eckersley. So yeah, it was kind of neat. It's always neat when you see people pull the LE cards on stream.
Yeah.
All right. The one that I think people are talking the most about, we looked at Bob Feller last week, so we're not going to touch on him this week, but the Jason Hayward card, to me, looks like a banger, looks like a really good card, really good eye, really good defense. I guess your opinions on a Kidney, and then does he replace a Mookie Betts, or is he complementary to Mookie Betts?
So I don't think it's quite good enough to play an open, right? So that's where, like, if you have Mookie, you're probably playing him in open. I'm actually not even playing him in a few open tournaments. We can talk about that if you want to. I think it's rather fun. I think there's a lot of options right now in open outfield. But this card is really good for two reasons. It's a 90, which not only is it, I think, by far the best right fielder VR in low diamond, it's also up there in open diamond because its competition is like Duke Schneider, and I would probably just play Duke Schneider in center. It's a little unfortunate this card isn't any experience in center field because you can't play this in center field in a tournament. Like, you can do it, but it will be like it's a 0 of 90 or whatever, right? Like, it will be very bad. It's not going to get the training as the other cards, but it's a really respectable VR bat and great glove. So I'm very happy with this card.
Okay, and compared to Mookie Betts?
Yeah, they're certainly, like, it's reasonably close, which I think says a lot about the power of this card in like a low diamond or a diamond tournament. They're VR very close. Obviously, the VL is not close, but if you're playing Hayward, you're probably platooning him anyway. I have it being super comparable. Just the bet's a little bit higher. Probably mainly off the gap of the power gap there, right? But no, both are excellent cards. Definitely want to be playing both of these cards.
So good, yeah. If you can manage to get one of these two into your lineup, you're definitely set in center field. Is Mookie an option or in right field? Is Mookie an option for center field? Would you trust him there?
If I'm playing Mookie, I'm probably playing him in center field, actually. So okay. I have a small issue with this Mookie Betts card right now. A lot of the tournaments I'm playing are cap tournaments, right? So you have to play a card both ways all the time, right? And if he's a starter in pretty much all caps. And so when I'm looking at center field and right field, there's a lot of names I really like right now. There's Mike Trout, there's Aaron Judge, there's Mookie Betts, there's Duke Schneider, and then DH is also kind of in there because of Aaron Judge, and there's this Manny Ramirez diamond card. I'm actually not playing Mookie in a lot of these tournaments because I'm playing Trout in center, Judge in right, and Manny at DH. I don't really know if that's correct. I think the thing I like about Trout is that there's a lot of righty pitching right now, and Trout is certainly better than Mookie against righty pitching. Obviously, Mookie is way better than everything else VL except for like Judge. But I think they're all very close together, those 5 cards, and you can play any mix of them however you like, and it's probably viable. But yeah, the all glove center fielders, I don't really like any of them. If I'm playing a center fielder in an open cap, it's going to be Mookie or Trout most likely. So.
Excellent. Good. Well, we've got some cards that came out this morning from OOTP and DishNet, and there were a bunch of them. And every year we do get these build a lineup, build a legend, whatever, phrase they want to use to introduce them. And what I found just kind of looking at the overall set of cards compared to last year, I found last year's set where most of them were immediately playable in the bronze tournaments. They seem to override most of the bronze that were out there when they were introduced. This year, I don't find that as much. There are a few gems in there, but I find that a lot of cards people are using, especially in the bronze double elimination, that a lot of these probably won't play. But that doesn't mean they're not good cards. It just means that they're not specific to that bronze tournament that I play. So let's go
Yeah,
through. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I think one of the big things to note about out of the park versus real baseball, right? And this is like always a super important distinction between the two. In real baseball, there is one Mookie Betts, and it's not like I can pick Mookie Betts or Mike Trout or Manny Ramirez or Duke Schneider. I can probably only get Mookie Betts, right? And so the thing is, in out of the park versus real baseball is instead of doing wins above replacement, you just need to do wins above average. Like, is this card better than the competition? Is literally everybody playing him and he is the average card? Or is he worse, right? Because if he's not worse, you're probably going to want to get a better card, right? That's the nature of the game we play. It's just very different than a lot of other baseball environments. So.
And the question we have on the screen, Kidneys, is it better to get the BAL challenges done now? My opinion, it's okay to wait. The more packs that are opened, the more that are going to be out in the environment, the more that are going to be put on the card shop, and supply and demand, the more supply is going to be out there, the price is going to drop. So unless you're playing in specific tournaments where you want to get these guys in the lineups right away, I don't think it's a must to get them today or tomorrow. I think you can wait on them. What do you think?
So, a few things to note, right? There's a lot of these missions that you can lock bronzes and irons for, right? That's the first step. Those give you a pack, right? Doing those missions sometimes is profitable just for the pack. So, look around, do math. A pack isn't 1,000 points. Remember, it's probably a bit less now. But, roughly what you can do. I'm never going to really do a mission unless, I'm immediately going to play what I want, but there are some of these silvers that are certainly playable, and if you think this is a card I want to play in a tournament, then go get it, right? But don't overpay. Like Laptop Hound said, very true, right? It's supply and demand. Right now, there's not a lot of supply. The build lineups are brand new, and the demand is really high because everybody wants them because they're cool cards, right? So it'll come down. Don't overspend, right? Just be reasonable,
And as we saw on EVC stream yesterday, last year's bronze, when they came out, they were listed for 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000. So you're going to see likely inflated prices on the card shop for a short period of time here, but those prices will come down. Give it a few days, give it a week, and you'll probably be able to get most of the bronze for under 100 perfect points, I would think. Well, we're not going to spend time on every single card that was released because I think Dish did a fantastic job on going through. I think we'll kind of focus more on the bronze a little bit, and then some of the iron or some of the silver that really stood out for you, Kidneys. And, at the catcher position, Ted Simmons, I use Ernie Witt in my bronze tournament right now. I also use, I can't remember the other, there's another bronze, obviously, catcher that I use. And comparing the three of them, I'm still going to stick with the two that I use. Witt, his ratings seem to be better, more evenly split between lefties and righties. So yeah, Simmons, I still think there are better meta cards for my bronze tournament, but in maybe a cap tournament, or where can you use a Ted Simmons?
I can check because the place for 60 overall cards is bronze floor, right? Because they don't cost points. The thing is, normally when you go down to a bronze floor type card, you're looking for a good glove because it's probably not going to hit in that tournament. This card's actually pretty respectable VR in bronze floor. But I would probably look for something that's a worse card than what my model's putting out. That's just has a glove, right? Because it's not probably going to be a great hit in the tournament. Really, again, kind of like what we touched on earlier, the flavor right now of the month is Power and Eye. This card doesn't entirely have that. And it doesn't have some crazy glove to back that up either. But you could play it in bronze floor if it's maybe gold ceiling bronze floor. I think there's one of those or something. I don't know where else entirely you would play it. I don't think it's quite a dead ball bat. I think there's some bigger BABIP cards, and Eye is also really good in dead ball too. So don't discount Eye and dead ball as well.
All right, and then we move to the first baseman, the Eddie Murray card. Again, at first base in the double elimination bronze, which I play a lot of, I've got Joey Gallo there. There's also Cullenbine that a lot of people use at first base. Again, very splitty card. I'm not going to use it in my bronze tournament. what about a tournament that he might fit best with, if there is even one?
I think this card may have been played if it wasn't for a card we're going to get to a little bit later. Most people, first base in bronze, they're playing Joey Gallo. If they're playing the historical one, it's probably first base. And then if you're playing the live one, it's because you want him in a corner outfield spot. They're actually like differently good in different positions, which is really fun. But one of the cards we're going to get to a little bit later, I like a lot more as a VR bronze first baseman. I don't think this is something I would probably play.
All right, and as we move on to second base and my horrible predictions in the EVC contest yesterday, I don't think I nailed one of them. I don't think I got one of those. And if anyone got more than two, I will be extremely shocked and proud that they were able to get more than two of these, because there were just so many options to choose from. So Ben Zobrist versus lefties, really, really good as a second baseman. Again, does he replace Shrimp? Does he replace Woody Held? Does he replace Jody Reed in terms of the bronze double elimination? I think of the three cards we've looked at, definitely the best bronze card so far. What's your opinion on Zobrist?
It's interesting. So what I'm using to evaluate hitters is a little outdated, right? And the evaluation tool is telling me that this card is really good VL, both left field and second base. My intuition from playing this year is it just probably doesn't have enough power and defense for me to want it. But it's certainly one of the better cards. You can play VL at second. It's flexible to left field. I think some of the similar comparisons, like Mark DeRosa is probably the card that would it be most competitive with. I'm playing Jody Reed VL because he backs up shortstop, and that's a hole in my bronze team, right? So I think this is definitely a card that can find your way onto a bronze team. I don't know if it's quite the best card. I think, again, depending on what happens with this crazy BABIP meta we're in, if that gets lifted, this is certainly one of the best hitters you could play second base VL. So.
All right, and we won't talk about George Davis. George Davis is to me strictly a defensive card if you want a defense card. But again, we do have Woody Held out there who has really good defense at shortstop in bronze already, but he just gives you another option, especially against the left-handed hitters. I would guess a dead ball era kind of card that you could use as well. Just a quick thought on George Davis.
His bat is like surprisingly better than a lot of the VL shortstops. If BABIP wasn't being suppressed right now, it'd probably be okay. I'm like a Woody Held or Herman Long guy myself. I think I prefer Herman Long because Woody Held has like the worst base running profile I've ever seen on a card, but they're so similar, right? In bronze floor, I'm probably playing one more point for Dal Maxwell because he has better defense. He backs up second and short. So I don't think I play this in bronze floor either. That's George Davis.
Okay. And as a fan of, more recent time baseball, I think a lot of us were happy to see the Chipper Jones card came out, and there isn't a card of him in the game already. So he would be a good guess, that he would be the third baseman choice. He's going to be a great, perfect card when that one comes out. Defense, that's where you're going to lack on. Again, a DH card, maybe in bronze tournaments, you throw him out there at third base, really good eye. Power's not the greatest. Give us your opinions on Chipper.
This is a really interesting one. The more I look at it, kind of the less I'm super confident I know what it's capable of. Right now in bronze, there's really two third base options I'm looking at, right? I'm looking at Joey Gallo. He's very similar defense to this card, a little worse probably. Much better bat, right? All power, all eye, crazy bat in bronze right now. I think Dave Kingman is the card I am playing, right? Which, we talked about a little bit. I probably prefer Dave Kingman still to this card. It's pretty close, I will say. The nice thing about Kingman is he's got a glove like really almost no other relevant bronze meta card has. And he just has the power edge, right? And when we're looking again, I'm going to keep talking about it all day. The kind of the bronze, like the BABIP suppressed environment, Chipper's just not getting enough legs for me out of some of those other ratings as Kingman's going to have in power and eye right now. So it's certainly not a bad card. Certainly can run this Chipper Jones. I don't think it's quite a DH because there's one card, Bronze DH, that I think is ridiculous. It's Gorman Thomas. If you're not playing Gorman Thomas on your team, you should be. He's insane. But yeah, it's a really solid card. I think as things settle down / are changed a little bit, Chipper could certainly come out on top. It's very good.
It'll be fun to watch people that do use Chipper Jones, what kind of results we get from him. I'm a Dave Kingman fan as well. I mean, you got to love that defense at first base, third base, home run power, the eye. Like it's one of those high risk, high reward card I'm finding in tourneys right now. Like he can finish a tourney hitting 143 average with 2 home runs, or he could be, a 340 with 8 home runs in the tournament. Like that's what I'm finding with the Dave Kingman card.
So
all right.
One note on Kingman, one last note on Kingman, because I see a lot of people talking about this. The avoid K, in my opinion, is too low to matter, which is a really weird thing to say, so I'll explain it, all right? There are breakpoints, not like hard breakpoints. There are those too. But in Out of the Park, you can't really strike out like 55% of the time in like a big sample of data. The game kind of adjusts and corrects and has like maximums in big enough data, right? And this card, compared to the stuff of pitchers being played, probably could say like 35 avoid K, or like, 20 avoid K, 25 avoid K, somewhere in there. It would be the same result, roughly. It's probably a little worse, but the card's downsides are actually so bad they're muted, and the upsides, like the 3 things it's good at, power, eye, and defense, are everything you want right now. So it's just a fantastic card. It really is.
All right. Well, we've got some outfielders and some pitchers to talk about, but we are coming up on an ad break here, guys. So go fill up that coffee, go get a beverage, go to the washroom. We will be right back with Kidneys and look at all the other cards. Plus, we have a couple other fun activities. We got a little competition between us coming up a little bit later. We got packs to give away, and of course, the Kidneys rant. You don't want to miss that. So we will be back just after these ad break, guys. Stay tuned. Thanks for tuning in. All right, we are back. Thank you guys for tuning in. Kidneys and the Hound here with our little bit of analysis of today's set drop with the Build a Lineup set of all the bronze and silver cards that were released today. Big shout out, big thank you to all of you that are currently watching. Look at the representation we have across the globe today. Almost 200 from the good old USA. We've got Canadians, we've got South Koreans, we've got people from Australia, New Zealand, one from Poland, it looks like, if that's the flag I remember. Yes, from Poland, from Denmark, from Switzerland, from France. Bonjour, comment ça va? Ça va bien? From France. Welcome in to all of you that are tuning in, and of course to those that have followed today. So much going on, so much to prepare after Dish's stream that sorry if I didn't give you a proper shout out. I will do that on my Monday stream when I'm back for kind of my regular show. So thank you guys again for tuning in. When we left off, we were talking about Chipper Jones, the bronze Chipper Jones, but I know, Kidney, that you also want to talk about the silver Chipper Jones. So let me just bring that up on the screen. And again, another fun card. And let's see here, make sure we got it working right. So yeah, just, start talking about the silver card and I'll bring it up on the screen.
Oh, I got to bring it up on my screen then first. Hold on. My memory's not as sharp as it used to. If this was 3 years ago, I could have told you everything off the card already.
The Zoomer's memory is going?
Dude, I'm old. I'm 24 now. Like, I know that's going to make everybody in chat feel super old, but to me, I'm old. I'm 24 2 months ago. So, I got the chipper up. You have the chipper up. Let's talk about the chipper. This card has a lot of numbers on it, and I don't entirely know what to think. So if we go off, I can't use that. I had a great name for my current model. If I go off the current terrible model, again, not super accurate right now. That's a great comment. I have t-shirts older than you. Chipper looks crazy VL, and he could be. I just looking at this card, and we're talking all day about this suppressed environment we're in right now. I don't know. You could plug him in, and maybe he is still the best VL third baseman by a mile in Silver. Very reasonable, because I don't think Silver third base is super strong right now as is. I mean, I'm looking at like Bill Hall, Brandon Inge, maybe even Dave Kingman if you're a real believer for VL third base there. I personally don't think it's a better VL bat than Gorman Thomas. Gorman Thomas is crazy. My engine does, but again, the engine is kind of not taking into account what's going on with BABIP right now. So I'm not sure. This could be the best hitter in Silver. It could be like an above average hitter in Silver. It's somewhere in there. Very fascinating. Would not play at VR, would only play at VL, obviously. But really cool card. I really just don't know what to think. I know Spore kind of had me stumped a little bit on like the Edgar last week too. So they're interesting. I think it's probably good one way. Is it the best? I don't know.
Well, I just have to say, Kidneys, as I'm monitoring the chat, when a young guy complains about he's getting old, you're getting a lot of comments about clothing being older than you, and
so
from boots to underwear to t-shirts to everything in between.
I'm losing hair on the front of my head, which I was hoping to avoid. But if you go back and you look at Kidneys and the year 2020 streaming out of the park versus now, there's a difference. And I'm really sad because like my mom's family, all the men bald in high school, right? My dad's family, my dad still has all his hair. He's in his 60s, all his hair, right? And so I was hoping I had passed high school and college. Like I was good. I was done. I'd keep all my hair. It's going. It's gone. I'll look like DRC probably by the time I'm DRC's age. So.
All right. Well, like I said on the thumbnail, you look like you have a good head of hair there, Kidney. So
that's true. I wish I could keep that. That looks great.
All right, Lance Berkman. So Lance Berkman, I think this may be the first baseman that you were alluding to a little bit earlier that you would play instead of the Murray card. Again, very, very splitty. As Dish said, you do not want to play him against lefties. So if you have a roster spot for two first basemen that you can platoon, I'm assuming you're going to put him in as part of your bronze lineup.
Yeah, this card has a lot of numbers. I know we've really focused on the Chipper also has a lot of numbers, the silver one. We've really focused on these sort of, power and eye so far. This card has the eye. 63 power is nothing to sneeze at. And then it just has literally everything else. I'm not sure entirely where you play it. You certainly... Wait, why is it... Hold on. I have an error. I'm trying to have this come up on my eval tool, and it's not. No, it's okay. It says, I guess it just thinks it's a first baseman exclusively. Maybe it's... Oh, no, it is a first base exclusively. I was thinking of the other one. My mistake. It's a first baseman. You probably... There's some combination of this card and Joey Gallo, because, Joey Gallo's my bronze first base VR. The issue is Gorman Thomas is, as good as this card VR, too, because Gorman Thomas is just everything in a bronze bat. So... there's probably a way you can play all three. Maybe that's what I would look to do. It's so good VR. Obviously, don't play it VL. Please platoon it. Don't play it in a bronze cap or something, right? Just play it VR in an open. Great first base defense, probably at first base, and it'll hit really well for you. So.
And for our beginners out there, because I know this year the whole training thing was that, if you play a card in tournaments now, it will be fully trained. So I notice on the Berkman card here, it says qualified to learn left field and right field. So does that mean if I use him in a bronze tournament or any tournament, I can either play him first base, left field, or right field fully trained?
No. So the card actually has to list the position under position ratings. It has to have some level of experience on the card for it to be fully trained, right? So I know we show the outfield ratings on this card, but if you put this card in a bronze tournament in left and right field, which the game will let you do, it'll be like a 0 of 48. And let me tell you, I'm playing a card with similar defense in the outfield in Iron League right now. I'm playing Manny Ramirez. I'm training him in left field just because I have nothing better to do. He's like -8 ZR in 40 games. Do not play this card in the outfield. Don't do it. It's not good. Like, maybe if you're at the end of a tournament and everybody's tired and you need an emergency left or right fielder, you could play him there for a game. Don't do it otherwise, right? Don't do it otherwise.
So there you go. There you go for all you beginners out there. Just because a player is eligible for other positions, it's going to cost you somewhere in that tournament, most likely on defense. And you did want to talk about the Lance Berkman Silver. You thought this was kind of a fun card.
Yes, this is a super fun card. So I'm constantly going back and forth. I need to change where I have my overall limiter here. But yeah, if we pull up the Lance Berkman, my thing is jumping to the moon to play this card in Silver VR. It's not quite David Ortiz. If you're playing any sort of Silver without David Ortiz, please play David Ortiz. He's really good. But it's definitely probably second place best Silver hitter for me. Kind of guys up there like Hauser and Carbo. I think they're kind of a tier below. But this is good. I don't know if I would play it. I probably wouldn't play it in the outfield. The defense is really bad. My thing is, like, it doesn't matter. Its bat is so good. Just play it in the outfield. Probably wouldn't do that. Probably settle down. I'd probably play it at first base. Play Ortiz DH. Carbo in right field. I think Bo Jackson in left field would be what I would do. So this is your first baseman. VR Open Silver, most likely. It's a good card. It's a very good card.
All right, and the outfielders we're not going to spend a lot of time. Again, there are a lot of really good meta outfielders for the average kind of bronze tournament, the double elimination. There, of course, is Kurt Gibson. There's, Fielders Jones if you want defense. There's, as you mentioned, Gorman Thomas, although he's more of a DH. There's Rob Deere. There's Chris Davis. There's Jimmy Wynn. There are a lot of options, really good options for bronze double elimination. So we've got Beltran as the right fielder. We've got, that's our pitchers. Yeah, I didn't even bring up all the outfielders here. But any kind of comment on the outfielders that were introduced?
Silver Beltran maybe is like in Silver. You could play him both ways in center field. If it's a cap, I could kind of see it. I really like some of the platoon center fielders in Silver, like Sam West, Lloyd Mosby, and Franklin Gutierrez are the guys I'm going to. Franklin is the VL guy for sure. Maybe one of Sam West or Lloyd Mosby are better VR. I think in Silver Cap, maybe he's a center fielder, Carlos Beltran, the Silver one. As for the what's the other card? The Reggie Smith? Reggie Smith?
Yep.
He's a Reggie. No. Yes. I feel like I'm getting the name wrong. I'm having a moment here.
I'm sure chat will help us out. Yeah, we got Beltran. We had Reggie. I'm pretty sure it's Reggie Smith in right field.
Is it Reggie Smith? Yeah. He's an interesting one. He's just, I think, a little bit less power. I don't use the power and eye. We finally hit like just a power and eye card. I think he's a little bit too little for my taste. Certainly first base in bronze with the new Berkman and Joey Gallo is like a really contested position, so I wouldn't play him there. The center field, he's a center field Silver one, is kind of interesting because he does play good defense. I don't think the bat is quite good enough to be a Silver outfielder. But he's a good shape. Like, this is a shape as this card progresses. I'm very excited for. Sometimes the cool part with Build a Lineup is it's not even about like what the cards are now. It's like people are going to do all sorts of speculating and buying cards for like looking at what the perfects and diamonds and golds and whatever format you play will look like, right? Which is always really fun. So,
all right, yeah, and it kind of confused me because the bronze Reggie Smith showed first base, so I was like, oh, I got the wrong one up here, but he's listed on first base as his bronze card, but his silver card is listed as the center fielder.
It's not quite the, I think, 4 or 5 cards that could play third base that Jardine gave us in one of the Build a Lineup or Build a Legend sets. That was quite the experience. But there's first baseman. I mean, these guys have very long careers. I'm sure their perfect cards will end up at the right position, right? You know, they played all over the place. As people get old, they play first base. It's what happens. You know, maybe in another 10 years, I would be a first baseman instead of a center fielder. So
I think you're DH all the way there, Kidneys. You're DH. Yeah. We're going to keep you off the field whatsoever. DH. All right. Pitcher-wise, I liked a lot of the pitchers that were introduced today. I think there's some really cool bronze and silver pitchers. We got Robin Roberts as a right-handed starter. Again, not splitty, other than, you know, control a little bit. I think can use, because right now, face it, Kidneys, in the tournaments in the bronze double elimination, a lot of people are using the iron starting pitchers. So we don't have a lot of quality bronze starters. I think these give us a few options in terms of who you can include in your starting lineup.
Yeah, this card is a little better than I think my first impression of it was. It's just like up and down, mid-60s ratings, mid-high 60s ratings. It's not bad. You can certainly play worse cards. I see people playing worse cards. I don't think, like, if I have every card and I'm making a bronze roster, it's on there. But it's, like I said, it's just not a bad card. Right? It's a fine card.
And then the silver, Robin Roberts, you kind of wanted to talk about a little bit. Look at that control. Yeah.
Did. So when we talked about Dennis Eckersley, and we said, almost there, not enough control to pitch in dead ball, this is the solution. This card is amazing. I think, just off the top of my head, he's probably like a number 2, number 3 dead ball guy for me. There's probably better, like, I guess if you had like Addy Joss, I'd probably play Addy Joss in dead ball, but like, I don't. So I'm looking at like this card. I'm looking at Harvey Haddix as just control, pitcher BABIP, enough stuff. You don't want to be Bob Feller. I saw some people playing the LE Bob Feller in like an early era tournament. The cap will come down, right? The cap, like, he won't strike out as many people, but you need enough, because if you have too little, you'll be at like the minimum. You don't want to be at the minimum. So this card looks awesome for dead ball tournaments. Really happy about this card.
Okay, and then we had the bronze Mickey Lolich card, which I really like. This is a card I am definitely going to use in my bronze double elimination. Going to try him out as a starter. Stamina 35, you know, might be, again, better in the bullpen, which should bring his stuff up, I would assume, if you're using him in the bullpen. You know, 103 pitcher BABIP against lefties, 92 home run. He seems like a dominant versus left-handed batters pitcher, but can still do very well against the righties. Give us your take. Where would you use him in your bronze tournaments?
This is certainly a bullpen card. This is one of the fun cards I talked about earlier. There's a few of these this year, okay? So it says reliever on the card. You don't want to play it in your rotation, but it's probably a little bit better stuff than is reflected on the card, I would assume, because it's 3 good pitches and more than 26 stamina are really your requirements in most out-of-the-park things. So this card is really good. I would be very satisfied adding this to a bronze bullpen. Obviously, it's a little splitty, but I don't think the VR side of things is that terrible either. It's a really, really good card for bronze. I do want to say, Sport, first off, I was cleanup hitter in every high school team I was on. I used to weigh like 170 pounds, right? I'm a big man now, but relax. I was a big deal in my little town in Connecticut, okay? And then I do like that a lot of the players in this set are very flexible. There's chances we have people playing all over the place. That's really fun for me. I like when it's a little less linear, and there's certainly a lot of decisions. Decisions are the fun part of this game, right? If everything is, this card's clearly the best card, then it's not fun, right? You know, then you all play the same things and you roll some dice to see who wins, right? So
and
really excited for all that, right? Yeah.
As C. Whitman says, having cards that give more options allows more interesting decisions to be made in your lineup and helps diversity too.
Yeah.
We're definitely seeing a lot of that.
Yeah. And for the people, because this happens every time we do build a lineup, people complaining about not pulling enough cards. you need a lot of packs to, like, on average, pull like a consistent number of cards. The cards pull at the advertised rates. If you don't know what those are, go to buy a pack. They're below the packs, okay? Bronze cards are the same as every other bronze card, except that live cards are 70% of the cards you pull, and historicals are 30%. If you think that's crazy, it's not really advertised there. People have done massive amounts of data. It's very consistent. You just need to pull more cards. If you're complaining about not getting them, you got unlucky. That's just how it is. If the cards were at weird rates they're not supposed to be, it's like probably illegal in a few countries in Europe. They have all sorts of laws for that sorts of stuff. So it's not, they're not hiding these cards from you guys. Believe me.
I think I'm seeing a lot of trash talk about you in the chat there, Kidneys, and all I have to say about that is, like, bring it on. Let's have a OOTP affiliate softball tournament or game, and let's put in the cleanup role. Kidneys, I'll lead off. I still have some speed for my age, and let's see how Dishnet and Spore do in that softball tournament. Let's see who comes out with the better stats. What do you think?
I don't know. I haven't picked up a bat in a long time, so the reason I didn't keep playing baseball is I actually retired. I have several injuries. I don't remember if it's a UCL. I blew out my arm like a pitcher would. I think the solution is Tommy John, if I remember correctly. From being an outfielder, I had pitched 1 inning in my career. Just from being an outfielder, I was center fielder, cleanup hitter, like 450 average, 550 on base. I hit 9 doubles in 5 games in the tournament bracket. I don't know what more you want from me. I was trained by a guy who was a hitting coach for the Mariners for a few years. So,
well, if you have a lot of injuries, we do have a doctor in the house. We do
have a doctor. If you guys aren't following Dr. Dynastic, new Out of the Park affiliate, awesome content. Make sure to check him out. He's great. Love his stuff.
Although he said he might pull an Achilles, tear an Achilles rounding third base. So he might have to take. I would be
so down for affiliate baseball tournament. Sounds like an excellent time.
All right, let's make it happen. Fly us all out to New Haven area there, and we'll play on Kidney's home turf there. All right, let's get to our last reliever here, Kenley Jansen, and his bronze card. Again, I'm guessing a good dead ball era card. We'll talk about his silver a little bit later, but talk about Kenley Jansen.
It is one of the cards of all time. So I'm running a team, full disclosure, in gold collection tournaments. I want to destroy people's chance of ever hitting a baseball. That's the card I'm going to play. I'm going to play that card on that team. I need data, so that's what it's going to be. Yeah. Oh, and we have my card. So I did predict, like I said earlier, I predicted one card right in the set. Who was this card? Who was Gary Lucas? Oh, did we drop? No, it's good. Where? Yeah. So this card's good. I lost my connection for a second there, but we're good. He little bit splitty for my taste. Also, the BABIP's really low. I think one of the things I've been messing up a lot is looking too much at home run and not enough at pitcher BABIP, because some of the guys who are succeeding are more like mid-range home run, lot of BABIP. So I'm not sold completely on this one, but it's you certainly could play it. Like I said earlier, there's some teams choosing to ignore pitcher BABIP for defense, and then it's an okay card. So
and the silver Gary how do you pronounce that? Laval?
I'm pretty sure it's pronounced Gary Lucas, but I'm unsure about that. I also think the logo on this card's wrong.
But the card itself looks like a really good silver card.
Yeah, like I said, you need a really good defense to play this card. You certainly could play the card if you want to. Yeah.
Okay, so that kind of covers most of the cards that were introduced today. Again, going to take a while to play them and get some information from them in tournaments, but we do have our card of the set, and didn't have a lot of time to kind of prepare for this, taking in all the information from all the different cards presented today. Again, great job by Dish. Today will be replayed at 9 p.m. Eastern. If you missed your OOTP drops from the main channel. Check it out tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern on the official channel, and you can get your 5 drops there as well. All right, my card of the set, I have to go with my hometown Blue Jays, the reliever. We just talked about his silver card, but I'm going to definitely use his bronze card in my tournaments. I think he's going to be an effective in the bullpen, maybe even as my stopper in the bullpen. I like this card, and I'm really curious what the perfect card is going to look like, because I never really saw him as a perfect card player. But really, really cool to see a kind of a Blue Jay name that you wouldn't expect. I put down on my EVC sheet Tom Hankey. I thought we were going to see the Tom Hankey build a lineup, because to me, he is the ultimate Blue Jay bullpen guy. Your thoughts on this bronze card? Really good card, isn't it?
A really good card. Very interesting card. I mean, that reverse home run for a lefty is actually really useful in my opinion. It's really fun. I believe he's had maybe not a perfect, but some high diamonds that were really good cards in previous perfect teams. So I'm very interested to see this card. Certainly one of the better options in bronze. We got 2 really strong left-handed relief bronze cards this content set. So that's really cool. Yep.
And I have to thank Sporer. Like a big shout out to Sporer, because he and I see the 80s and 90s Blue Jays very similarly. We want them higher rated. We want that perfect Dave Stieb at some point. So thank you so much for bringing a better Dave Stieb card to this year version of the game, because last year he was given like an 82 peak card. And so I will take the 91 Dave Stieb card and hope to see more Blue Jays represented in the future. Go Blue Jays, go Expos. I love that Pete Rose April Fool's Day one.
I know all the 80s baseball fans were very, very big fans of the Gold Peak Ryan Sandberg last year. I think it really enjoyed that. So,
all right, Kidneys, your card of the set. Who are we going to talk about?
I don't remember which one I picked. Oh, it was this one. This one's really cool. I totally forgot about that we skipped this one until now. This card's awesome. Also really funny. He is a switch hitter. He fits in the set. I was a little expecting. I was really hoping for Carlos Zambrano. Wild character, one of the people I watched pitching grow up. He's like the famous switch hitting pitcher that I know. He hit like 6 home runs multiple years. Really fun guy. However, this card, banger. This is crazy. I think one of the best pitchers in silver right now is Blue Moon. Maybe the best pitcher in silver is Blue Moon. This card has less movement VL, but it's roughly better in literally everything else. 101 home run, 115 BABIP against right-handed batters is absurd. This card is very good. I'm very, very big fan of this card.
Okay. And I can't seem to remove comments from my screen right now. So I guess we're just going to have to keep that one up. So yeah, I try to click on other ones, but it just stays up there. So unfortunate. Okay, well, here's a new segment that I thought would be fun. You know, a little bit of rivalry. And I did this when I had EVC on my show. We did a little after the World Baseball Championship, a little Canadian-American rivalry. And it ended up 1-1. He won one of the events. I won one of the other events. But, you know, since Kidneys is from the USA, I'm from Canada, I thought, you know, we can turn this into a generation showdown, the Zoomer versus the Gen Xer. And we all know that, you know, the Gen Xer will win 99% of the time. So there is that 1% chance that, you know, Kidneys will squeak through here. But what we're going to do is we're each going to open 10 standard packs. I've seen a lot of comments. I'm not getting the, you know, build a lineup. I'm not getting this. I'm not getting that. We'll show you the streamer pack opening here as well. So I'm hoping, Kidneys, I'm really hoping we each don't pull like 3 build a lineup because we might have a riot on our hand. But you're the visiting team. Okay. You're coming to Canada here. You're going to open your 10 packs first. And the way we're going to do it here, we're going to give it kind of a point system. 10 packs each pulled. If you pull a perfect or LE card, you're going to get 7 points. 5 for any diamond, whether it's live or historical. 4 points if you pull any card from today, so your build a lineup bronze. 2 points if you pull a gold card, live or historical. And we're going to spin the wheel to see what our magic number is today to get an extra point. So
There's only one
spin
right
this
answer
wheel.
on this wheel. I hope it hits it. Ooh.
Almost got the
42.
kidneys.
That's the second best number on this wheel. I'm pleased with this number. So
If only it was 3 digits, huh, kidneys? If only
it just needs, there is technically a 0 at the end of it, so we're gonna roll with it.
All right. So do you have your 10 packs ready to roll?
I do. I actually don't have to buy any because I got 10 drops. Oh wait, one of those is a choice pack. I guess I won something when I wasn't paying attention. Let me buy one pack.
All right, I will get you to share your screen.
One pack.
And we'll keep track of his tally. I'm hoping for a number under 5, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes here. Gonna take that off the screen here.
Okay, I think I'm good. I need this. All right.
All right.
We ready?
Just wait 1 sec. Wait for it to show up on the screen here. Sometimes there's a little bit of a delay when other people are sharing screens.
Sure.
Yeah, Jackie Robinson. Great point there. That Jackie Robinson, number 42. All right, we have you on the screen here, kidneys. 10 standard packs. Make sure you don't open those silver ones. Let's see what you get. Let me know if you have any 42s that show up.
No 42s. All right.
No points so far. Oh,
Aaron Boone. I like this card. Great glove. Not quite Kingman, but it's a fun one. Tavares is also pretty good. Let's see. Ooh, a gold. We got Joe Ryan. Gold. Very nice.
All right, there's 2 points for you.
I love that this has a live art card. I argued with so many Yankee fans about him last year. He's a great player. They don't deserve him. I'm sorry.
Do you notice anything else there? It was a 42.
No.
I'll give that one to you.
There's a 42 here. There's a 42 here as well. Another silver.
Geez. You're hitting those 420. I mean, 442.
Oh, well, IKF is a 42. Of course. I was too busy. Oh, build a lineup.
Hey!
Let's go.
Oh, what did I say that was worth?
Very nice.
Jeez.
I don't remember.
Just a sec. Don't open the next one. Build a lineup, I said, was 4 points.
4 points. And the silver.
No, nothing for a silver, though. Gold or higher.
Silver? I like the silvers, though.
All right, so Kidneys, you got 6 points, 8 points.
Nothing here. Oh, nothing here, but another Gorman. What a good card.
Yeah, another Gorman Thomas card.
All right. Let's see it. No. One more. Kikuchi's an iron? He had a really bad in the year last year, didn't he? Oh, a 42. Another 42. I'm raking in the 42s, huh?
All right. Well, you came through with 9 points. That's pretty good. That is pretty good.
It's not bad at all.
All right. Let me add mine to the stream here. So what was the build a lineup card that you had?
A George Davis, who I saw had an 8K P10 already. People really eager to get those done. That's cool. Love seeing the market popping. I'm sure lots of people are ripping. All good.
810?
No, 8,500 perfect P10 on them.
Woo. Yeah, that is quite a bit. All right, let me just go and open up my screen here, and then we will see if it's going to be hard to beat those 9 points. I'm going to have to pull at least a diamond, I think.
Yeah, that would be the goal.
All right, the game's just loading up here. So you're going to get some of these bronze in your lineups today, you think, or are you going to wait on them a bit?
I'm not playing really open runs much because with the new PTSCS system, you really got to pick a few formats you like. I've been playing Diamond and Wildcard. I really like the Wildcard cap formats in the different eras. Playing a little bit of open if there's extra room, and then of course playing the weeklies. The weeklies are great. Love the weeklies. So.
All right, here we go. Let me just make sure it gets added properly, and we are go. Okay, so 10 packs. These are packs that, from tournaments, from watching different affiliates, getting those every day. I kind of hoard my packs and then open them on stream once in a while. So let's see how this pans out. It's not sure. Is it showing on the screen there for you, Kidneys?
I see it. Let's see if
Okay.
they see it. They see it. Yep.
All right. Here we go. Pack number 1, trying to beat 9 points in our first. Oh!
Oh no. It's clearly rigged.
Starsky overrules Hutch on pack number 1.
Oh, wait. Why did that reply? What?
I'd like to thank AZ Axo for stepping in and supporting the Gen X. All right, what do we got? We've got a catcher.
Adley's a nice live card. He's definitely one of the better live catchers.
Okay.
That's crazy.
So that
is. You're gonna open the other ones? You're gonna rack up the score? You're gonna let it stand? What are you doing? How you feeling?
I've got 5 points so far, so I just need to hit one more diamond. One more diamond will do it. All right, pack number 3. Oh!
Yeah, okay. All right.
High five. Come on. High five. Do it for the memes. There we go.
Let's get it. That's awesome, dude.
Well, that ties us up after
Fairbanks.
3 packs.
What's the other one? Ooh, double raise.
Double raise. Yes. Okay. Well, that's pack number 3. I just need 142.
142 or build a lineup. We got,
oh my
God. There's no way. There's no way.
I'm dropping the mic. There's a mic.
Dropping the mic. Oh my gosh. What'd you get? Is this historical this time? Let's see. Ooh, got Paul. I love Paul
Goldschmidt. Woo! So that's that would be another
awesome.
5 points. That was pack number 4.
Pack number 4? Oh, 42.
There we go. It's another point. That's 15. 5 more to go.
Those are all bronzes. Yeah.
I like the synchronicity of that. 3
I
live.
know.
Yeah.
That's one of the April Fool's cards in the bottom middle. That'll sell for a bit. The
Royals Kirk
Gibson. Yep.
Okay. 3 more to go. And
wow.
Go Canada. Go Canada.
Ooh.
And the last pack is, well, I did not hit the 42s, but I hit, I would say, some pretty good cards.
That wasn't bad.
17 points, Kidneys. How many points did you get again? I can't remember.
9 points, I think.
I'm
mean, how much does a perfect choice pack worth? Because that's apparently what I won while we were streaming. Is that worth a lot of points? Can I open that? I don't know what I won. I have no idea what I was playing. I have no idea. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's pretty good that you won that perfect choice pack.
That's an incredible run. We're gonna have to see if we can outdo EVC's. What was it? 5? If he's here, 5. He is here. 5 historical perfects and like 250 packs. I've never seen a run like that. The only close one was Yuka pulling Pujols and Lolik back-to-back packs, the LEs last year. That was unbelievable. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we talk about the streamer luck, and definitely there was some streamer luck over the Christmas period. So the historical perfects were just coming out of everywhere, during that week. Even I pulled Delahanty that week on the historical perfect. So, yes, we do have a final score of 17-9 in the first weekly Boomer or Gen Xer versus Zoomer showdown. Well,
I hope
kidneys, yeah.
I hope we're not rolling over a score and you just get a point. That's a very big lead there, sir.
Yeah, I think that'll be a nice cushion if we do a total overall point lead or point
true. We got to
calculate.
do the Pythag, right? The run differential, the point differential. We got to be real math nerds about this here.
Well, we're going to have to come up with a friendly wager, aren't we? Like,
I'm down. I'm always down for a wager.
Maybe the loser after, maybe it's a race to either 100 total points or 10 wins. Maybe the other streamer will have to create an emote for their stream of the champion holding up the trophy.
I'm 100% down. I got a lot of emotes unused.
We'll come up with something off screen to make it a little bit more interesting. Well, there we have our 10 packs each. That was fun. We'll do that again next week. And now we've come to that moment in the show that you guys are just riveted and waiting for. And that is going to be the Kidney 2-minute rant. Yes, Kidney, we've kept him down for almost 2 hours here. And it's time for him to really tell you how he feels about who knows what his topic's going to be. But I know on one of my YouTube channels, one of the comments was, hey, I can't wait till Kidney's rant this week. So this will be a highlight. Are you almost set there, Kidney?
Almost.
Okay. You tell me when to start the clock and we'll get it rolling.
All right. 3, 2, 1. That's the wrong finger. Let's go. All right, we're going to talk about, I teased it last time. I'm sure that's going to get clipped somewhere. Batting average. Batting average is a really bad stat. Please stop using it. Now, that's going to offend a lot of people. I know when I talk with a lot of people about batting average, they're like, but why? We used batting average for about, the past 150 years now? That's kind of the problem. Back when batting average was created, all they did was batting average and fielding percent, and they added the numbers, and that was like, who's the best player in baseball? It has very little correlation between what a batting average does and what runs a player actually produces. That's the cool thing with having all this data and all these statistics now, is we can do things like say, what's the actual value of different hits in different situations, right? And so because of that, all hits are not equal. Even all of the same types of hits are technically not equal based on different situations. And batting average is just literally a tool from 1860s, 1870s, very rough estimation of what a hitter does. There's much better things. On-base slugging are better. I don't remember if they're worse or better collectively. There's a rate you can multiply them at to make them okay. Woba is great. I'm a big Woba enjoyer. Huge Tom Tango fan. If you haven't read all his stuff, the book, all that, you should. If you ever go on Baseball Savant, that's his stuff. He's the guy who in 2003 or 4 was saying, I hope we never have to use batting average again, because he made Woba, and a lot of people still aren't using it. So really make sure when you're looking at stats, understand what the stat is telling me and why and what that means, right? A lot of times that means exporting data, building your own stuff, trying to evaluate it that way. But certainly batting average just doesn't matter. Stop looking at it. That's it.
Kidneys. What's up with you? Are you feeling off today? You had 8 seconds left.
I'm good, I think. I beat the timer. This is probably going to be the only time this happens.
All right. Well, I just found maybe the comment of the stream here right now, Kidneys. I'll throw it up there from Mr. Ree, who is from the Baltimore area and a big fan of the Baltimore Orioles and Cal Ripken and Billy Ripken and all those famous ones. So he says that, well, that was fun. Laptop on sending Kidneys to the Shadow Realm.
So really funny, the choice of words. I'm a huge Yu-Gi-Oh nerd. Behind me, I can show you guys, are all my Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I'm going through them, building some decks, all that stuff. My childhood best friend, one of my childhood best friends, who just got me into Yu-Gi-Oh, just won the 250th American Major tournament, like 4,000 players. He won the whole thing. Shout out to Paulie Aronson. He's an awesome dude. I'm so happy. But I was growing up in the guy's house on his floor playing Yu-Gi-Oh against him, and he's one of the best Yu-Gi-Oh players in the world now. So really cool. It was one of my favorite games. So I love that he said sending me to the Shadow Realm. It's a good throwback.
Well, Kidneys, thanks so much. Any kind of closing comments about today's set, about what you're looking forward to in the next week in Perfect Team? Where is your team right now? Are you in silver? Are you in gold? Where is your main team? What is it? The Dab City Yeet?
Dab City Yeet's an iron. I didn't really do anything in entry pool. I didn't get any of the good cards till the end of entry pool. Then I was I think I finished 7 games under 500, and that put me in iron. I thought I would be in bronze at least from that. I was a little surprised. I'm killing people right now. It's a lot of fun. Thank you for food, mother. I've been having a good time. Tournaments, this is really the first year I've played tournaments, really enjoying it. The build a lineup, switch hitters, wasn't expecting that. It's a lot of fun. That was a really cool idea. This is great. I love doing this show already. It's been a lot of fun having some structure. Thank you for doing almost all the work behind this. I'm hoping probably by next week I'll have some more data-backed analysis, because I'm a little rusty right now. It's a lot of collecting to doing. I've started that yesterday. So this is great.
Right.
Thanks everybody for being here. A lot of fun. Don't miss tomorrow, my channel on Twitch. I'm interviewing the lovely Dishnet34. This is going to be we're talking about his life, who he is as a person, a lot less we're not diving into out of the park, that kind of stuff. We'll talk about it a bit. But if you don't miss that, it'll be at 2:30ish Eastern tomorrow. It'll be great.
All right. Well, stick around. We're going to do our contest here, but we'll let Kidneys go and get some rest. He probably needs to to decompress a little bit after that rant there. Probably needs to put some cold water on his face and start prepping already for next Thursday. So thanks, Kidney, as always, for being on the stream today. We'll catch you next week.
See you, buddy. Bye, everyone.